We're going to do like 15 minutes of just open Flash talks. So I'm going to ask Ben, our AV guy, to make sure that we have 3 minutes on the clock for everyone, no more than 3 minutes. But anything that you want to talk about, we'll just kind of open the floor. A couple ideas, a framework that you think we should talk about, a bit of research that you wanted to present, or just a straight up rosebud thorn, something that you learned that you're excited to put to use, something you want to build, something that you learned that you're worried about. So Gadi, do you wanna kick it off and run it, and I'll hold the audience mic.
So I found a few people in the hallway. So if I talked to you about having 30 seconds to 1 minute to talk about something and you were foolish enough to say yes, please come up. Please come up. I think, let me read the list. So we have Greg Notch, right? We have Ilya. You guys just start coming up here, and then whoever has some thought on the topic they would like to share, please just start lining up here. We'll kick you off. No longer working? There we go. So Ilya is here, perfect. So I'll start and share a thought. We're all doomed! No? Nobody buys that? Okay, then in that case, you heard enough from me. Let's give it to Ilya, and I'll just say before Ilya speaks, Ilya is one of the smartest people in AI security, not because I say so, but because the world decided so. He's the guy behind Camel. So I'm gonna give it to him, and I'm gonna count 30 seconds, although Aaron is nice with the 3 minutes. Go.
Hello. I wouldn't call myself the smartest person in the room, definitely not. I agree with the doomed assessment, but I think we can enable more things than disable. So I think my hot take, I've written papers about this, the most triggering one, especially if you're a cryptographer, I was just chatting with some cryptographers, is that I think trusted AI models enable a new kind of private inference whereby you don't need cryptography anymore. So normally you need cryptography because, say I wanted to pass a message to Gadi, but he lives in another country and somebody travels there. So I need to trust a third party to give my message to and pass it on, right? But basically what I'm arguing is that these models, for many use cases, can become such trusted models under quite different trust assumptions that we're commonly used to. To give you an example, like with cryptographers, I tend to talk about Yao millionaire's problem. Let's say I have some money, Gadi has some money. We want to find who's richer without showing each other how much money we have. We can imagine a setup in which we both agree on the model. Let's say we say Gemma models are unbiased for the purposes. We tested them, they can do this. We both agree on the prompt that goes into the model, like which number is bigger, the first or the second. We both agree that we type into the keyboard connected into the model a number. And then we both agree that the output of the model can only be the first or the second, and nothing but. And in this setup, it becomes quite clear that you no longer need to put this complex, crazy complex FHE scheme inside, and then bam, it works. And I think the killer application for this is in trusted execution environments, where people don't want to give you the code to run attestation over. What you can do is you can load the model to become a private auditor and ask questions about the code base that is loaded inside, over which you can't compute hashes. And yeah, so I think we live in a world in which these models can enable like private inference of new kind for many of the problems. I don't know if it was a half a minute.
Thank you, Ilya. Greg, run in. Come on, people, line up. It can be a thought, like, my God, I love Claude Code. Anybody wants to say that? My God, I love Claude Code. Cursor, Copilot, anybody. Just, if you have a thought, if something hit you during this conference, we're only going to do this for a few minutes, come up. You're up.
Awesome. Hi, I'm Greg. I'm the Chief Security Officer for Expel. I don't know about you guys, but I'm like utterly blown away by some of the stuff that I heard here the past 2 days. My mind is like full of like the new possibilities, and like frankly some of them are amazing and some of them are terrifying. But I think one of the things I really took away from this is we are absolutely not ready for this, for what's happening right now. I think I have two asks for everybody that's here. One, we got to go out and make sure that our companies and our families and our friends understand what happened here the past 2 days and the new ideas and the things that are coming. We have to go out and make sure that we're getting our companies and our families ready. And number two, my second ask is, if you've still got any AI skeptics in your network, if you still got anyone you talk to who's like not sure this is real or this is coming, those are the people we need to reach out and grab a hold of and give a hug, because they have no idea what's coming. So I want to thank you all for an amazing 2 days. I really feel like we marked a moment together, and I'm looking forward to doing it again. Thank you.
Hey, so I'm Chris Blanco. I'm here from ClickUp. I'm the head of application security over there, and I do a lot of product design as well. And that's just because that's what I've done a lot in my career. And at ClickUp, it's become really important because here we're dealing with a situation that I haven't heard very many people here talk about yet, where you're developing product, and as you're developing product, you're realizing that you're building a platform for agents to run on top of. And so for context, like what ClickUp has is this space where everyone's got a workspace. It's combining all your productivity tools into one place. Context is all available. It makes our agents really powerful. And we control like an agent system prompt, and otherwise developers, users get to put their own things on top of it with tools, integrated MCP service, and et cetera. And I'm really growing concerned about this because we are creating the situation which is different from what all of you have talked about. A lot of us have talked about things that are like what I'll coin as a single player problem, where you've got one agent and you're trying to monitor the actions of that one agent on that one endpoint and how it interacts with other systems. But I'm worried about what I'll call a gossip problem in this multiplayer environment, where we've got different people with different scopes of access, with different agents that might have different contexts and access to different external systems, and all of them are really eager to please you and each other, and they're listening to each other because they're all in the same workspace. And so it's really trivial for one bit of information to go from one agent to another faster than anyone can reasonably control it. And data control is quickly going out the window, despite us having the ability to add a check at first time of first agent check. But if someone summarizes something as an intent and drops in some other object, we quickly have to start thinking about, well, where the hell else is that going to go? And that's going faster than we can reasonably control. And so like I think about this a lot. There are probably some intelligent things that we can do within our own workspace to tag information that says something like, well, hey, I know that that is coming from an external source. But anyway, I probably would be interested in talking to some other people about this afterwards. So if you're interested in product design, let me know.
Is that timer working? Cool. Hi, folks. My name is Ariana. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you. I just want to spend a minute and 54 seconds or less talking about how I'm a cybersecurity researcher who was an AI skeptic and is no longer. And so my background is in data-driven security. I take a bunch of data about the world and try to figure out how can we make things safer for people across the internet. And recently, I have really been drawn to this problem of pig butchering. Who has gotten a text that says, hey, John, what's up? Are we ready for golf? Yeah? Hey, exactly. Great, great. It turns out that this sort of scam is new. It's growing in size. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And I, as a researcher, have data that shows that they are not using AI yet to scale it, right? There's a ton of news on this. This problem is being propagated by, unfortunately, human trafficking victims. However, they can start to use AI to scale even more, make it smarter, make it better, and enact more harm. And so I am with a team right now, and we are trying to defend people by combining cybersecurity and AI, 45 seconds, to stop this problem. And so as someone who has recently become less of an AI skeptic, I'd like to propose to folks to think about the ways that we can use AI defensively to protect victims, to protect our families, to protect our friends, because these problems are growing in size, they are growing in scale. They're gonna start using the AI tools. We should as well. Thanks, folks. I'm Ariana.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm probably going to be faster than 2 minutes. My name is Art. I represent today a team at my company called Kraken. We are kind of like a mix of people with, let's call it a lot of cyber warfare specifically exposure, AI researchers, as well as commercial cyber researchers. And I'm here today to just ask you maybe for some feedback. Check out our latest research on mechanistic interpretability of some of the LLMs, where we do feature ablation and obliteration of some of the biggest models out there. And we probably one of the only teams who we kind of figured out a so-called domain-specific, cybersecurity-specific feature ablation. I would want to ask AI researchers out here, maybe I can do it this way. So there is a website, cracken.ai. Go to blog, check out our research, give us feedback. You can find me on LinkedIn. Thank you.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rob Joyce, former NSA, and I'm here to implore the CISOs and the security teams who are in attendance to think about getting agentic red teaming running on your networks continuously. Why? I'll tell you, past life, I led the hackers of NSA, and we succeeded not because we had amazing people, which we did, not because we had some amazing tools, which we did, but because we knew more about the networks than the people who owned them, operated, and defended them, and sometimes more than the security products that they used inside the networks themselves. And so what I'm telling you is the agentic wave that's coming at us right now is doing that detailed research. It's finding the hidden latent flaws. It's finding the unpatched pieces. It's finding the shadow IT, and it's finding the misconfigurations at scope and scale. And so you want to pay for that agentic red teaming, because whether you like it or not, somebody's going to do it to you, and you're going to want to get the outcomes and outputs of that agentic survey. So thanks.
Hi, I'm Andrew. I'm here because I wanted a new fun fact, which is talking after Rob Joyce. Actually, I just had a quick idea from the last talk in terms of moving from the limitations of Claude Code. You have like an agent that's local. How do I get it to becoming basically its own self-fulfilling? It has the context that it needs, running on its own agent. Like I do security operations. I have a triage agent that I run in Claude Code. Now I need to spend another few hours making sure that it runs in a loop, like in a system like Tines, and it has all the context that it needs. How do I do that really well? I have no idea, so I'm gonna go and screw around and find out, and then I'm gonna do it again the next week for the next problem. So I don't know if this is a new startup idea for somebody, because I don't wanna do that, but if you can make that easier for me, I'll pay you to do it. Thank you.
Hello. I just wanted to come up and say one thing that I didn't really hear a lot about that I'm taking a huge interest in is local models. I know that we're using the cloud and the power there to do some really amazing stuff, agentic stuff, but there is local models that are capable, and they will finish the last 10% that Claude might not be willing to do, might push back on. And if you just buy a few GPUs, you can get those things to happen. And so if anybody's running local stuff, I have 8 3090s, and it's fantastic. It's working great. So come and talk to me after. Thanks.
It's kind of ironic. I was just about to say, this is one of the greatest conferences that didn't have any pitches. I didn't feel like people were selling stuff, and so I hope that culture stays during the next event. I know everyone, or most people here are on Slack. I know when I go back to work, I'm going to be on my own, but I will poke back in every now and then. I'm hoping everyone else does, because I think we already have a great community on that Slack, and unprompted, so stay in touch. Yeah.
Thank you. Hey, everybody. My name is Josh, MassiveScale.ai. One thing really focused on is trying to simplify all of these messages to your leaders. This started because my wife is very interested in AI, but she never understood anything I'm talking about. And everything you guys talked about here, amazing. If you saw Carl's talk yesterday, intercepting attention layers within a model to put quality gains, like amazing, mind-blowing. I think it makes sense to all of us, but to the point about going home and teaching everybody what we're facing, I think about simplifying this, and I like to think about it as like an intern or a digital employee. The way I've explained it to some of the leaders that have resonated is, would you give your intern keys to the safe, a very difficult job, or would you make them earn autonomy? Trust is earned, it's not granted. When I explain these things to the leaders I work with, they get it. I just published Agentic Trust Framework on Cloud Security Alliance's blog. It talks about 5 simple questions that are very simple. Who are you? Identity. What are you doing? Behavior. Where are you going? Segmentation. What are you eating and what are you serving? Data inputs, data governance. And what if you go rogue, which is anomaly detection, right? It's 5 very simple questions, and if you think about agentic AI as a digital worker, and you explain these 5 questions, the normies get it, right? If you can get the normies to get it, then they can actually do something about it. Check it out.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, everyone. It's an amazing conference. Thank you. It's Ragini Ramalingam from Snowflake. We've heard so much about all of the problems and all of the threats associated with AI, and all the enterprises are adopting AI at breakneck speed, including ours. And the biggest challenge, being on the enterprise security side, is that most of the AI tools that are adopted in the enterprise do not have enterprise-grade controls, security controls. And features get released, but security controls are an afterthought, or we have to work with vendors to get them in. So if we can come together as a community and actually influence our GenAI tools and AI tool vendors to actually bake in enterprise-grade security controls as they release features, I think that would be a great win. And if anyone's interested in partnering, please hit me up on LinkedIn. Thank you.